Hi, class. I want to talk to you about argumentation and debate, and this is a good starting point for us, just because we just finished our persuasive speech. So I'm going to talk to you about this British philosopher. His name is Stephen Toulmin, and Stephen Toulmin talks about this model of argumentation. So basically, he's this British philosopher who has reviewed several court cases, and he once he was reviewing these and observing these court cases, he found a basic pattern of argumentation that people follow when they want to argue, and he felt that he created this model of argumentation that we can use in our day-to-day life, because clearly we don't talk like lawyers talk in our day-to-day life, but we do need to make arguments. We need to argue with people. We need to argue on a point. We need to debate. I think we do that all the time. We are trying to make a point. So Stephen Toulmin thought about this, and he created this model called Toulmin's model of argumentation. It has a few steps. It has the data, it has claim, it has evidence. It has data, it has claim, it has a warrant, it has backing, it has a rebuttal, and it has a qualifier. So I'm going to talk to you about data. Data is basically the evidence of the facts that you have. What do you have to go on with? For example, you watched What the Health, and the whole documentary that you watch is basically the data. So once you watch this whole documentary, the evidence that this person collected, you observed it, you watched it, and you came to a conclusion. The conclusion is your claim. Perhaps in this situation, if I were you, I would make a claim that the animal food and dairy is not good for our human body, and so that could be the claim. The next step is warrant. How does it that I looked at this evidence, I looked at this data, and how did I come to this conclusion or claim? I came to this conclusion or claim by reasoning. The reasoning being that animal fat, animal protein, and dairy is causing, our hearts to get clogged, our arteries to get clogged. It's raising our blood sugar level. It is raising our cholesterol level. And all this is leading us to lose our lives or lead a very sick life. So that is my reasoning. Now, the next thing, reasoning or warrant, and the next thing that Stephen Toulmin talks about is backing. And when he talks about backing is, you got to ask yourself, why is it my reasoning / my warrant strong? And I think the backing would be the fact that all this evidence, all my points of evidence was based out of some expert testimony. Some people who were experts in this area, some doctors. We interviewed some leading physicians in the country. We also interviewed people who have suffered because of dairy consumption, because of animal food. We've talked to people who have been severely affected through this consumption. So that's the backing, and that is what makes my warrant strong. That's what makes my warrant or my reasoning strong. The next step is the rebuttal. Rebuttal would mean the exception to the claim. My claim is that animal fat and dairy is not good for our health, right? And the exception to this claim would be, in other words, the claim would not be true if I would say that my evidence is just based on a few people and it doesn't really show the whole population. Or if I would say that, animal fat and dairy is bad, but so are other things. So are vegetables. So so are modified vegetables. Genetically modified products. You could be a vegan and yet have the same health issues. So those are some of the exceptions to the claim. The next is qualifier. Qualifier basically shows the strength of the argument. You can add in your claim that animal fat and dairy is most certainly harmful for health. Most certainly, words like most certainly, most probably, these are qualifiers.